This week on Dear Bros, a woman provides way too much detail for a very simple question.
Oh.
Stay tuned.
We all know one of those.
You're listening to Bro Down Podcast all fucking day. Oh, yeah.
Everybody, welcome back to Dear Bros. Dear Bros, where we take a piece of advice column from somebody that did not write into us, but rather somebody else who's a professional, and we pretend that they wrote into us. This week, it's Tim's topic. Yeah. Tim, let's see what you found for us here.
Woman be nuts.
And that's the show. That's gospel, ladies and gentlemen.
So I picked this one because it just kind of went on and on and on.
I like it already.
And yeah. Just listen to this.
Okay. I will divert my eyes.
Yeah.
Divert.
So the real title of this one is Caregiver Gets a Hand, but Kids Foot the Bill. Dear Abby, my mother has had serious health problems lately. She had a brain tumor that was successfully removed. 4 weeks later, she needed major colorectal surgery. I don't know what that is. I stepped up and used my vacation and sick time to care for her. I don't earn a lot of money, but I make enough to support myself. Okay.
I mean, I thought this was going to be funny. Uplifting. It doesn't sound...
We go on.
Okay.
During Mom's illness, my car broke down, and my brother offered to get it repaired since I was with her 24/7 for about 6 months. I was grateful because I didn't have time to manage that situation. He returned the car to me with an itemized bill for around $3,600, and I repaid him on a monthly basis. When the bill got down to about $1,200, he told me that he'd taken a collection from our family and the rest of the debt was forgiven.
So her car broke down. Her brother took the car, got it fixed. He paid for that up front, and she's paying him back with installments.
Yes, but once it got down to $1,200, he said the rest of the family covered it.
Okay. Why does something smell rotten?
Abby, I just learned that he didn't take a collection from our family. He took a collection from my children. I don't want to list all the reasons why this is upsetting. My children are adults. I did not pay for their college. They're all self-supporting, and they have made their own way in life. I'm very proud that they stepped up to the plate when my brother rolled them, but I didn't raise my kids expecting them to take care of me or support me in any way.
Okay. How old is this lady?
I have no idea.
In the beginning, I'm thinking like, all right, her mom's sick. She doesn't make a lot of money, this and that. So she's like between the age of 25 and 45.
Yeah.
Now
she has adult children.
She's old adult children who have careers.
Because they yeah. All right. Where was I? This is like 30 paragraphs long.
Okay.
Is it unreasonable for me to be angry at him for doing this? We have 75 family members. My parents are the oldest ones left. For the last 17 years, I've taken them to every medical appointment and surgical procedure with no help from anyone. My brother ran the vacuum cleaner only 3 times during the 6 months Mom was sick. Am I right to thinking what he did was wrong? Bothered in the East. There are so many details to this friggin' story, and like the last one, she's like, here's a fact.
And what was the title of this?
Caregiver Gets a Hand, but Kids Foot the Bill. So the
okay.
So the actual question is, the brother foot the bill for repairing the car. She paid him back 2/3 of it. 1/3 of it was paid back by the family, which turned out to be her children. She wants to know if this is like a riddle, like you would hear but she wants to know if she can be angry at him for asking the children if they would help support the mother in this situation.
Okay, let's lay this out here.
I found this funny. So I don't know if I'm alone on this, but the amount of detail thrown into this that was a little bit superfluous.
Yeah. It kind of jumped all over the place.
A little all over the place.
All over the place, like a high schooler's story. So when we look at this, if he was the one trying to get out of paying her back, and then he took the money to pay himself back, that would be fine. Or that would be a problem.
Yeah, I agree.
She's technically still paying him. He's technically still getting the money, but he's getting the money that he already put out. So it's not like he's being a scumbag.
No.
right?
I agree with you.
So the kids probably knew of the situation. If they're adults, they probably, I'm assuming, approached him. These are all assumptions.
These are all assumptions. Yeah.
And was like, hey, listen, we want to pay the rest of the whatever. Just let us know what it is. We'll split it and pay for it, because she takes grandma to all the appointments, everything like that. And they were like, you just can't tell her. Just say that it's from everybody. We don't want credit for it, and whatever. And he was probably like, okay, like, I don't really give a shit where the money comes from. That's really nice, so I'll keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
So he was probably stuck in between a rock and a hard place.
Because he has to say something. He can't double dip. He can't take $1,200 twice.
Exactly. So I think that she feels definitely some type of way about footing all the responsibility for taking care of her mother.
Yeah.
And it is a tremendous undertaking to take care of somebody that's sickly.
It is. It is.
Especially when they're elderly and they can't do really anything by themselves for the most part, which what it seems like the case here. So I think those are separate issues than the issue at hand. I don't know what that has to do with him accepting money from her children. I think that she just feels that way about him, and it like was an uninvited guest into her thoughts.
I guess. See, that was part of my problem. Like, first and foremost, I think this bitch be cray.
Yeah, she jumps all over the place.
Well, not just that she jumps all over the place, but like, he did a nice thing for you. Let's be real about it.
He had an extra $3,600 to just be like, yeah, I can do without that.
Yeah, he did a nice thing for you. Your children did a nice thing for you, and you're literally going out of your way to say, "Can I be mad about this?" It seems a little nutty to me. Like, I get that getting children involved. I understand why that'd be a little weird, but at the end of the day, people did a nice thing for you, and you're literally looking to be upset about it.
But this, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I kind of forgot where I was going.
No, I see what you're saying there. I think what part of this problem is that she feels like they are not undermining her, but it's almost like she doesn't want to feel like she's being taken care of, and they're almost relinquished. She said she doesn't make a lot of money. She makes enough to support herself, but she does all this stuff. So her purpose is taking care of her mother and all this stuff. So when they just kind of do that, it's almost like they're treating her like a child.
Maybe
I'm saying it could be looked at as that if she doesn't have the fortitude to just be comfortable with her position.
Yeah.
And it seems like she's got some issues, so she might be looking at it like they're embarrassing her.
Yeah.
Because how dare you try to pay for me? Like, I'm an adult, I can pay for myself. And then you got my children involved. Like, I don't want my children thinking that I need help with money.
Yeah.
So like there's a lot of knee-jerk reaction. I think she's not looking at where it's coming from, where the thought of what they did is coming from.
I like when you said knee-jerk, because that was one thing I was going to bring up, because she point blank says, like, after she says it was my children who paid, she says, I don't even want to get into why this is wrong or all the reasons this is wrong. To me, when someone says something along those lines, it's almost like you're angry and you're coming up with the reasons after the fact. You're not really understanding where your anger is coming from. You know you're angry, so then you say to yourself, well, this means that, and this means that, and this means that. But like, yeah, those are like circumstances and consequences of things that have happened, but that's not why you're really angry.
Yeah, she's right now she's a hammer and everything looks like a nail.
Yeah,
so
that's a great way to put it.
Yeah, she's trying to find nails where there are none.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that she's upset, it seems, about something with the situation where maybe she feels that she's taking care of her mother in an unbalanced situation, but like it's her mother, so of course she'll do it.
Of course she'll do it.
But because nobody else is stepping up, there's resentment there.
Yeah.
And it's not that she minds, but at the end of the day, it's basically like she's stuck between like telling her family like, you need to take care of mom because like it's going to come out like you need to take care of mom because I don't want to anymore.
Yeah.
Like, so she seems like a super good-hearted person, but she's just very upset with something.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't think it's this. I think she's aiming it at this because it's a
what's
tangible, touchable situation.
Yeah.
It's not years of attrition that
I
you
agree.
can't pinpoint.
Yeah.
It's like this thing that happened.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. That's a hard thing.
It's very difficult.
You know when, like, you know you're angry at someone over a lengthy period of time. Say you had a bad parent. I'm just making pure hypothetical. You have a bad parent, and someone says something along the lines of, well, what they do? And, like, in the moment, you're like,
I don't know.
I'm having trouble coming up with, like, a concrete, like, I'll have, like, an example or two. But in your heart of hearts, you know it's been, I don't have bad parents, by the way. I'm, again, using that as purely as an example. But, like, in your heart of hearts.
Good save.
I love you, mommy. You know you have years of, like, abuse almost, or, like, belittling or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But, like, you can't even recall it anymore.
Do you know what that's like? Do you know what that's like?
Warm apple pie.
Warm apple pie. 2, 3. So how I look at that kind of, I guess you would say, was it trauma?
Yeah.
Let's just call it, for
Trauma.
instance. If you look at other things that are traumatic, like say you had substance abuse parents,
Okay.
or you had physically abusive parents,
Okay.
or you had a drug problem or whatever.
Something.
Those are very tangible things that people get a pretty good idea of. Even if they've never experienced it, they've heard about it, they know what it's like, or not know what it's like, but they kind of, at least in their own head, think they have a grasp on what that is like.
Yes.
That is like equating it to an injury. That's like I'm walking around with a cast. What happened to your leg? I broke my leg. Oh, what happened to you? I got into a car accident. Oh, I know those things. When you have like small things happen over time and there's not one big like this happened, it's not visible
Yeah.
to a lot of people. So it's extremely difficult to explain because usually when you start explaining it, I think people feel like they're bullshit, like they're lying about it almost.
Yeah.
Almost like when she complains, like it's not that her family doesn't help her, because they don't. It's not that she's the one that foots the bill as far as taking care of mom. She does. But when she starts saying it out loud, she's like, well, you know, and it just seems like it's so much worse in her head than it is when the words come out.
Yeah, and the person who's describing it starts to feel bad about it almost too.
Yes,
Like
and it's also the person listening is like, okay, so like they didn't come and help you with your mother once, and you're like, well, no, it's like every day, and then they said this once, and then they did this thing, and you're like, okay, it's like death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a very difficult one because it's so difficult to get out your story or your issues with it. So I think that's what's happening.
Yeah.
She's having trouble condensing what her issue is and explaining it because she doesn't really know. I don't think. Like she knows, but she doesn't know. She's like, I don't even think she knows how to say it.
We'll be back after more messages on this episode of Dr. Phil.
Yes. That's pretty good, though, right? Sounds like I kind of.
No, it sounds good. We're basically in the same
All right,
boat.
so what's our advice for her? Is she right to think what he did was wrong?
No, I don't think so.
You're right to feel that way,
Yeah, no one can.
but I don't think he was wrong.
I agree.
I don't think he was wrong. I think you need to take a step back. You're too much in the weeds.
You're too much
Take
in the
a
weeds.
step back and look at the fucking forest.
Something like that. All right. Dear Abs. Abs says, Dear Bothered, you are entitled to your feelings, but soliciting your children for the $1,200, it would have been better had he let the other 73 relatives know you needed a hand. If he had, it would have cost less than a good meal. Because you feel it was wrong for your children to have forked over the money, offer to repay them if it will make you feel better, but don't be surprised if they refused. By the way, they seem pretty terrific, and so do you.
She's under the assumption that the brother-in-law or the brother approached the children.
Which is fair because we don't know.
But
we
just
both
asking.
assumed.
I was just wondering if it was said in the article if that was the case.
Please hold. No, it just says he took a collection from my children. I don't want to list all the reasons. I will say the word collection has like a connotation of it. Like at church, they hand around the basket for money.
Yeah,
so maybe he did, but
I would
we
think
don't
it would
know
be
that.
weird for him to just, unless he said like, "Hey, your mom is really in a jam.
Yeah.
Like she seems to be having a rough time." But even then, I don't think that really matters.
I don't know. I could see it being a little weird. Well, I could see it being a little weird. Someone saying, an uncle looking at you, being like, "Your mom owes me a little bit of money. You should pay me."
I would like to think that there's nobody out there that would speak like that, but there is.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't. But he's not looking to get. He didn't have a problem getting the money in installments. That's the thing. It's not like he was like, "I need to go to AC this weekend, and your fucking bitch mom needs to pay me now."
I mean, we don't know that that's not the case, but you're right. You're right. If he was okay with the installments, what changed?
Yeah,
So
he was
maybe it
okay
the
with departing from $3,600 of his own money for months on end.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's going to be sweating the $1,200.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's why I was thinking that way.
It's a weird one.
It is a weird one. Many layers to this. Many layers.
Ogres have layers. All right, guys, let us know in the comment section down below what you think about this story. What should the woman do? Is she justified in feeling angry at her brother for soliciting her children, or maybe the children solicited him? I don't know. And this $1,200 gift, what would you do if you were her? Don't forget to go to brodownpro.com. We're coming out with new stuff all the time. Also, it is Christmas time, so yeah, get your Christmas gifts at brodownpro.com.
Mm-hmm. If you're going to ugly sweater party, Christmas sweater party, got some ugly Christmas sweaters on there too.
Yeah, we do.
Limited time only.
We'll catch you guys next time.
You're listening to Bro Down Podcast all fucking day.